A very warm good morning to dear students. So I hope that you would be doing your well with the help of these online classes. So the topic for today, which we will discuss, is related to the assignment of yesterday. Yesterday we discussed about the noun case. Okay, so it is part of possessive case. Okay, so here today we will learn how the possessive cases are formed. Okay, so first thing which you have to keep in mind, okay, that I have tried my best to explain it through the help of points. Okay, so kindly prepare your notes also in your own handwriting so that you can use it later whenever you are in need. Okay, so possessive means the use of apostrophe. Okay, so in which conditions we can use apostrophes we will discuss today. So first point, when the noun is singular, the possessive case is found by adding apostrophe s to the noun. Means to say, with the singular nouns, we just add comma, means apostrophe, and then a small s, which shows the ownership of the noun. Okay, or we can say that it shows the relation, okay, of object with the subject. So two examples we have: Ram's house, dog's bark. Okay, so first one shows that house belongs to Ram. Second one tells the bark is of dog. So this was the case of singular nouns. But what to do when a noun is plural? Then no need to worry. Just one thing you have to do, just add apostrophe with your plural noun. Okay, and in same manners you have to write it. So there are two types of plural nouns. Okay, normally the plurals end with s. Okay, so if your plural is without s, you can deal simply by adding apostrophe s. Two examples are there: men's job, the people's voice. But if your plural ends with s, then you will not use double s. I repeat again, when your plural ends in s, then you will simply, after the s of the plural, single comma you will use. Is it clear? So one thing you have to take care, okay, that in plural you will just use single comma after the s. Is it clear? So two examples we have: boys house, school, sorry, then James house. There is a reason also behind it, which would be discussed in the next points, that why we avoid another s after the plural. Then fourth, some classical names which ends with s, same case like the plural. See here, Moses laws. So here it is ending with s, so after s we are just using single comma, single apostrophe. Pythagoras, okay, single comma. Archimedes, single comma. Okay, so keep in mind, if your noun, simple thing you can keep in mind. Okay, don't think in the terms of singular plural. Simply keep in mind that if your noun ends with s, okay, you will use apostrophe after s. Okay, let's move to the fifth point. In compound nouns, what is the compound noun? So here one example is there: my sister-in-law. So it is a compound, it is a compound noun. So in compound noun we write it also, okay, like this as it is visible on the screen. Okay, some student they just use apostrophe my sister's in-law daughter, so which is not the correct way. You should use apostrophe at the end of the noun my sister-in-law's daughter. Okay, so similarly in the names consisting of several words, if your noun is consist means it is having more than one noun, then how to deal? So here Nawab, it is also a noun, Rampur is also a noun. Okay, so here we can write that Nawab of Rampur's state, Henry the eighth wives. So here it is written clearly. Similarly, in the names consisting of several words, the last word takes the S. So here last word is Rampur, so that's why I have used S. And second, here you will not say Henry's eighth wife. Okay, so according to the rules, with the last noun you will use apostrophe. Henry the eighth wife. Then next point is when the two nouns in possessive case, means if we have, like yesterday we discussed noun in apposition. Okay, apposition when nouns are used, different nouns are used for the same person, then what to do? Then you will add apostrophe with the second noun. For example, my friend's house is not correct, so you will say my friend comma Mohan's house. So here my friend Mohan are same, but you will use apostrophe with the second noun. Then the king and queen's jubilee. So queen is the second noun, so with this you will use the apostrophe. But there is one exception also. When separate possession is there, possession means ownership. Okay, when there is the separate ownership of any object, any place, then you will use apostrophe with the single noun. For example, Robinson's and Edward's offices. So you can't say that Robinson and Edward's office. It will just give the indication that Robinson and Edward, they have same offices, means it is under the ownership of both Robinson and Edward, but it is separate. So keep in mind Robinson and Edward's offices. So they have their own separate offices. Now move to the next point. The letter S is omitted and only apostrophe is added when too many hissing sound. So I told you earlier that why we don't use apostrophe, means in plural, why we avoid second S after the apostrophe, because it make it difficult to speak, it make a hiss sound, means so many S sounds are called hissing sound. Okay, so if you want to say that James house, imagine in your mind James and after apostrophe S, how you will pronounce that? So it would be difficult. So just to make it comfortable, we just use single S, sorry, single comma after the S. So here this happen when the last syllable of a word begins and end with S, or when S or CE followed by sake. Okay, so here is one exception which you have to keep in mind. Here this S and this CE, when they are followed by word sake, then how you will write? So in conscience, so we have CE and it is followed by sake, so you will not use apostrophe S after conscience. For conscience sake you will say like this only. So it is the grammar rule. So Jesus disciple. So if you will use another S after Jesus, so it would be difficult to speak Jesus. So see, I am unable to speak. Okay, disciple. So Jesus, disciple. So then for goodness sake. Is it clear? So wherever you are able to speak, there you can use, okay, where hissing sound is not disturbing you, there you can for goodness sake. Okay, then use of possessive case. So till now we were discussing that how it is formed. Now where we use these. So with the nouns, singular nouns, for example, Ram's hands, the lion's mane. Okay, the lion's mane. So what is mane? The thick hair around the neck of the lion. Okay, is called mane. So here one word is there personified. You might have done in the poetry. This is a literary term. Okay, when words are personified like the persons. So fortune's favors. So normally we do the favors of the living persons, but here fortune is personified like humans. Duties call, okay, means a living person can call us, but here duty and fortune they are personified like the human beings. So that's why here we are using apostrophe s. Then possessive case is also used with noun of space. It is important, noun of space, time or weight. So space or time, here we can say a month's salary, a pound's weight, okay, and then a yard's length. Okay, so it is space, it is time, it is weight. So a few common phrases also at, so these are the phrases so in which we use apostrophe: at one's fingers and to one's heart's content. So this is the phrase at one's wits end. So you might find it awkward, but it is the phrase, so we can't make any change. Okay, so we know that English, okay, it is all about exceptions. Okay, so there are so many rules. Okay, so we just have to agree, so we can't argue in some cases. Okay, then in the case of non-living, so one thing I want to make clear, the word possessive, it means ownership. Okay, so ownership, this word, okay, is only for the living people, living persons. Okay, and apostrophe also shows the relation. So you can assume that how the two non-living things have a relation. Okay, so just to avoid this, okay, so normally we, some people say or some students use the table's leg or the clock's hand, so it is not the right way. Okay, so because these are non-living things, okay, so they can't have any relation. Okay, so the right way to say the table's leg is the leg of the table, the clock's hand can be said in the right way, the hand of the clock. Then the words house, school, college, and shop are often omitted after nouns in the possessive case. Okay, means what I want to say. For example, if you have these words at the last, for example, house, college, shop, you can omit it after the apostrophe s. For example, you can simply say that I met him at Mohan's. I met him at Mohan's. So it is just optional, okay, for your understanding. Okay, so it is just giving the indication that you met him at Mohan's house. I studied at Queen's. Okay, then you can buy this at Dhariwal's. Okay, so when you can omit it, so it depend upon the situation. For example, two speakers, they know about that you are talking about a particular shop. I just give you the example of the last sentence. Okay, means the speaker and listener, they both knows, okay, that you are talking about a particular shop. Okay, or we can assume that the listener and the speaker, they are in the same city, then they can use this rule, you can buy this at Dhariwal's. Means the listener also, it is in his knowledge that this is the famous shop. Otherwise you can, if for the unknown person you want to say, you can use the complete sentence, you can buy this at Dhariwal's shop. Okay, so you have to assume that there is we can say that pre-knowledge in the mind of the listener. So one another exception we have this, you have to keep in mind that possession, it not always denote possession. Means apostrophe not always show possession, sometimes it shows indicate origin, kind means type, authorship, etc. For example, Akbar's fort. Akbar's fort. So it means is the fort built by Akbar. Okay. So we can't say that that fort is of Akbar. So here it meaning is it was built by Akbar. Saint Paul's Cathedral. Cathedral means church. Okay, so here the cathedral dedicated to Saint Paul. Okay, okay, in the memory of Saint Paul, this cathedral was built. So it is dedicated to Saint Paul. So here the apostrophe Saint Paul's Cathedral. This is the meaning. Okay, that it is dedicated to Saint Paul. Then Ashoka's conquest. Okay, so the conquest made by Ashoka. Okay, so conquest means the victories made by Ashoka. Mira's song, so it means songs composed or sung by Mira. The judge's verdict. Okay, so the verdict of the judge means verdict in legal language. It means decision. Means in simple words, verdict means decision. So in legal language, decision word is used as verdict. So here this is the practice exercise, okay, for you. Okay, so which you have to try to solve after having the understanding of all the rules. So I hope that you will surely able to solve these, okay, after listening this lecture. Okay, so this is the end of the class. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.